All right, so the next question comes from Instagram and for our next Ask Me Anything series. And someone asked, what should you do when you need to engineer a product and you have no engineering skills, and so therefore your idea requires physical construction or engineering and you just don't know how to go forward? So, like this actually brings me up to a really good example of a young man that was in our academy at the Entourage Academy that came to me in one of our masterminds. We do these masterminds where I offer people funding for some of their projects. And I said, pitch me, and if you have a good idea, I'll talk to you. So he had a good idea, and for him, it was to create, I'm not going to say what it was because I don't want to give away his thing, but his idea was to kind of create an electronic version of something that's already out there and that's mechanical in nature. And it was going to require engineering, it was going to require a technical kind of understanding of how the process works, and it was also going to require design and fabrication. Three things that this guy had no idea about. He had never been an entrepreneur, he didn't do anything whatsoever, and he came to me with just wanting funding so he could move forward. He told me he needed roughly $15,000 for kind of the build prototype and this and that. So long story short is I liked the idea, but I really didn't think he needed any money. But I said, you know what, let's have a conversation about it and, outside of the program. And if you still feel like you need money, then we can talk about what we actually need to do to get it going. So we had 3 to 4 conversations regarding the opportunity to be resourceful and the tools out there that are out there for people to kind of actually build prototypes. And there's a ton of them. There's a ton of them on on some of these websites where you can have graphic design done for really cheap of your prototype. You can talk to Asian factories. We even have a mastermind about how to source an Asian manufacturer and to get a sample of what something would look like. So all of those things are in the mastermind in the Secret Entourage Academy. And there's also a ton of other people who are doing products in the academy and share their kind of learning and knowledge. But so long story short, what started as a $15,000 kind of like I need 15 grand to start manufacturing ended up that through conversation and through the free tools that are out there, it cost our academy member less than $250. Now he was willing to give up over 50% of his company for something that cost $250. And it brings me back to this. So 90% of the time when we look at money as an obstacle or our skill set as an obstacle, we fail to realize that we live in the 21st century and the internet connects everything. It connects countries, it connects cheap labor, it connects people. And therefore it's very easy to find quality people. And it's very easy to find quality suppliers, manufacturers, and other individuals who are going to be passionate about what you do, who are going to help you find the way, and who are going to be resources for you along the way. The hard part is that it's going to take a few trial and error attempts, and it's going to take a few failures before you get to the success. The first guy you reach out to is not going to have all the answers. First manufacturer you build a prototype with is not going to have the perfect product. And the first designer you talk to about designing your product is not going to come up with a perfect product. So at the end of the day, it's really your ability to manage yourself through that process that is the hardest part of that process itself. It is not rather finding the people to kind of contribute and help, but it is rather finding the actual actually managing the process itself so that you can get somewhere where you can become successful regardless of how much money you have, experience you have, skill set you have. The whole goal is to just be able to kind of bring the pieces together that are available to everybody free of charge out there, and to be able to succeed with it over time as a result of bringing these little pieces together until obviously you can get somewhere where you have enough resources and money to just create whatever you want without the hassle. Going to a company and saying, I want to build this. If it costs 5 grand, I don't care. I don't have the time to go seeking, each little piece. The reality though, in today's business world is this. You can't get to your goal being comfortable. So if you're comfortable and you're just paying someone else to do it, that by itself, that action by itself will prevent you from succeeding, because it shows first off, you're not putting any effort. And secondly, you're also hurting yourself by not learning to be resourceful, but by just allowing money to solve all of your problems. And the problem with that in a startup is that you eventually run out of money, especially if you think about it that way. And a lot of startups fail because of that, because they invest all their money up front on product, and they forget that they have to move product in order to remain in business. And if they don't move enough product right away, well, they go out of business. So I think I would think about all of that this way, and then you'll have a lot of success with it in general once you start doing that. Today, we actually got another question asking us, what if you have an idea, however, kind of succeeding with that idea would put you in an